it is so terrible that the country and the people still seems to be living in the 18th century while we are actually in the 21st century. Hello everyone, how are you all doing? I welcome you all back to this channel, Everyday Documentary, the channel where we highlight and celebrate notable everyday achievers in sports, entertainment, arts, history, literature, media, politics, and everything in between. And on today's episode, we'll be talking about the forthcoming national protest in Nigeria, which has been slated for August 1st. That is August 1st, 2024. Nigeria, Africa's most populous nation and top oil producer, has one of the most corrupt politicians and political systems in the world. And for many decades, the Western countries like Britain, USA, Dubai, in United Arab Emirates have become destinations of choice for Nigerian kleptocrats seeking to enjoy their ill-gotten wealth. And as a result of this long-time stealing, the country has been rendered poor and the people left to suffer, even in the midst of plenty, because the country is blessed with massive human and natural resources. But because of so much stealing that has gone on for decades, it has become very difficult for people to live a normal life without struggle, without so much lack. Only the political class enjoy abundance and the rest of the people suffer in so much wretchedness and poverty. This is sad. For everyone who has been following up with happenings in Nigeria since the beginning of this year, you can tell that all is not going well with that country and with the people, especially as pertaining to the economic situation. So there's every cause for a protest, national protest, to be staged by the federal government of Nigeria to begin to pay more attention to the very dire situation in which people now live in that part of the world. And then I believe it's long overdue for people to come out and air their displeasure about the way the economy is being handled in that country. So different groups have come out to say, oh, they are partaking in this protest. They want to show their displeasure, their dissatisfaction, and fight for a positive change to occur in that country, which I definitely and absolutely support. And one of the groups that have come out to show a very strong interest in this forthcoming protest, they reeled out a 10-item protest agenda. That is 10 different agenda on which this protest is going to be based. The demands they are making from the federal government, a list of 10 items that they want the government to adhere strictly to and be able to perform and make a change in those areas so that the citizens of the Nigerian nation can be able to afford basic living, which includes good and affordable quality food, decent housing, constant electricity, running water, good roads, and other basic facilities which are obtained in other parts of the world. On this episode today, we are not going to dwell on the various lists that these different groups have made up upon which they are going to be protesting, but there's an aspect of the national life of Nigeria that no one tends to have paid attention to in recent times, and no one is talking about currently, even while preparing for this forthcoming protest. It is the aspect that has to do with the need of recovering the looted funds from very corrupt and greedy politicians in the past decade, in the past 20 years. A lot of monies have been stolen. there is a popular saying that Abacha's loot, has been relooted over and over. That is money stolen during the administration of General Sani Abacha, who was head of state between 1993 and 1998. That he sent to various bank accounts overseas in Europe and in America were being returned from time to time at different times. And by the time these monies were returned, were not properly informed about what returned looted funds have been spent on or what they were budgeted on. So this is a popular saying that Abacha's loots have been relooted by current politicians. So this is a question that no one tends to be asking at this time, and I feel if you are gonna make any progression as a people, we need to be able to say, oh, the monies that certain politicians have looted or stolen or embezzled in the past, have been properly, recovered, and those politicians should be prosecuted appropriately. Though when you look back and do a little research, you find that some of these politicians that stole the money were prosecuted, but nothing exactly was said about the funds that these politicians stole, whether they've been refunded or whether they've been recovered from them, and then what has been done with those funds that have been recovered. So today we're just gonna be reeling out a list of politicians that have stolen money or that have been alleged to have stolen money or that have been reported in the media to have stolen money or to have been leveled with allegation of mismanagement or misappropriation of funds, public funds. There are quite a number of them. We're going to be bringing a list of these public servants, politicians, political leaders that have stolen money or that have been alleged to have stolen money in the past. Huge amount of money at that, and then we want to see if there's a way by which we can recover some of these stolen funds from these politicians. Like we normally say on this channel, that we don't celebrate negativity but positivity. It is still more like a celebration, because these guys that have been alleged to have stolen money, maybe they actually didn't steal the money. Maybe they just saved the money up for future use for us all. So we are gonna be celebrating them. Yes, they are like heroes who have saved into the future. They've saved for the rainy day. So we are gonna be reminding ourselves of these heroes who have saved up this money that will have been wasted probably by their other political colleagues. But for that not to happen, they decided to keep the money somewhere and then saved it for our good. So we'll be calling them out so that government can remember to revisit their cases and then give them accolades for having saved up these monies, and then there could be a way by which this money will be recovered from wherever they might have been saved up. So, and right now we're going to be taking a look at the list of politicians whom we consider to be heroes of today that have stolen or kept some money in the past and have been called out in the media. Some have been prosecuted, some have been arrested, some were invited by the EFCC, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, to answer to the cases of theft or stealing that have been leveled against them. So we'll be reading out the list of those politicians and then bring them to our reminder that we've got to call them out even as we go into this protest and say, oh, we appreciate you for the money you've saved on our behalf in the past, but right now we need those money to be able to settle the deficits, economic deficits that we are experiencing in our country at this moment. So this is time to call them out and remind ourselves of these guys who are still in the possession of some of the monies that are supposed to currently be in our national treasury. So here we go. Diezani Alison Madueke, Yahaya Bello, Godwin Emefiele, Orji Uzor Kalu, Godwin Akpabio, James Ibori, Rabiu Kwakwanso, Sambo Dasuki, Joshua Dariye, Abubakar Atiku, Muhammadu Buhari's administration, Betta Edu, Halima Shehu, Ahmed Idris, Patricia Ete, Hadi Sirika, Farouk Lawan, Dan Etete, Abba Moro, PDP, People's Democratic Party, and Jonathan administration, NNPC, Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation, PDP, and President Jonathan administration, Stella Odua, Bello Matawale, Nyesom Wike / Fubara Seminayi, Abubakar Bagudu, Isai Dangaba, Abdul Rashid Maina, Nasir El-Rufai, Bukola Saraki, Bola Tinubu, Abacha Lutz, Olusegun Obasanjo, just to mention a few. Those are a few of the names of politicians and institutions that have been accused to have kept money or taken out money from treasury that we found in the course of making research for this documentary. There were many other names that we didn't include, but for the sake of having some brevity and not to waste our time, we decided to just pick out those few. We hope that this will reignite our dream of achieving a country that is void of corrupt practices, stealing and embezzlement by political leaders. We can achieve this by starting with calling out these political leaders of the past and even of the present time who may have been mentioned to have misappropriated or misused the funds at their disposal for personal purposes. Let's be reminded and then always tell the government that we want these monies back, we want proper prosecution, and we want adequate recovery of all, each kobo from these stolen funds. And we sincerely hope that our nation, Nigeria, will turn on a new leaf, will become better for it. And best wishes to all those who are going to be on the streets protesting, putting their lives and their safety on the line for the sake of the good of the country and for the betterment of every one of us, both the ones on ground at home and those in the diaspora. It is our prayer every day that the country improves and gets better than it is at this time. It is so terrible that the country and the people still seems to be living in the 18th century while we are actually in the 21st century. We are not going to go into the details of all that is backward in Nigeria today, but this is just a gentle reminder that some persons have stolen money in the past and they have critically contributed to the situation that we find ourselves in today as a nation. And we just got to call them back and find a way to recover some of this money, and also find a way to put a law in place that will adequately punish political leaders that dipped their hands into national treasury, public funds, and use such funds for their personal purposes in the future. We hope we're able to achieve that. God bless you. God bless Nigeria. If you're new on this channel, we implore you to support by subscribing to this channel and hitting the notification button so that you're informed and notified every time there's a new video dropping on this channel. And let's grow together. Thanks for your time. God bless you. Bye.